What's up YouTube, Dow here from Zeph Wargames, bringing you an early preview to Drytrons. Now Drytrons are the brand new ritual archetype, which also bring a brand new way of ritual summoning using attack rather than level. As Dragonshine quite kindly put it, oh my god, is that dragon robots in space? Yes, they are dragon robots from space. They are insane and they boost so many ritual decks, it's crazy. So what I've done here is I've put the build together. I've done it as an early preview with proxies, just so you can kind of see a particular build that you might want to put together. Now, these are considered slightly meta in the OCG, but they do have the Divine Herald, which makes it a little bit different. However, with this build, I've gone for a play style of going first, setting up 2 ritual monsters, one being protective and dealing with damage to my opponent, the other one defending my board, to then be switched in the flick of a ritual spell to be full out aggression to get in on the big Drytrons that are going to go, cool, 4k booty, 4k face, straight in for game. With that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. If you get this video to at least 50 likes, it will unlock part 2 of our Genesis Impact profiles, and that will be the Magisters. With that out of the way, let's get into the profile, and I'll also show you a 2-card combo at the end. What more could you possibly want? So, for our Drytron rituals, as they are level 12s, we do only play one of each. It is all you need. Now, this one here, the Draconoid, is an Ultra, and the Quadratus is a Super. Now, the Super one, or the Quadratus, they both pretty much share the same effect. You ritual summon this card with Metanist Drytron, sorry. Your opponent cannot target this card with spell and trap effects. This one is monster effects. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If the total level of monsters used for this card's ritual summon is 2 or less, now the Drytron effect monsters are level 1s, very, very easy to do. You can destroy all spell and traps your opponent controls. If this ritual summon card is destroyed, you can special summon Drytron monsters from your graveyard except itself, whose combined attack equal exactly 4,000. I'm just going to put the sleeves in the middle because I really, really like. So these are Dragon Shield sleeves, and I think they kind of suit a Cyber Dragon deck, and particularly this deck as well. So then the Draconoids. So you can ritual summon this card using the Mechanist Draconoid. This card can attack all special summon monsters your opponent controls once each. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish monsters from your graveyard whose combined attack equals exactly 2,000 or 4,000. Then target one face-up card your opponent controls for every 2,000 attack of the total. Send the cards to the graveyard. So he is a non-target send. It is a target, but it is a non-target destruction. Yeah, it's a target destruction. I'll get there eventually. And the Drytron level 1s are all going to be 2k attacks. You're always going to be able to easily resolve the effect. For the other ritual monsters, we do play triple Ben 10. Now, this is actually busted in this deck, more so than Ben 10 usually is, purely because Ben 10 triggers every time she is tributed. So in the OCG version, when she's tributed, she gets you to search you out the Divine Herald. In this build, we are getting her to search us out our Natasha and our Manju. Now, Natasha is actually an MVP in the deck, and I'll get to her in a second. But the idea with Ben 10 is, through the level 1 Drytrons, you're going to be able to search out a ritual monster, which will 9 times out of 10 be Ben 10. You then tribute the Ben 10 in hand or on field, depending on where you get it. It will then bring back one of the Drytrons, which will search you out a ritual monster or ritual spell. Ben 10 will then be able to search you out a light fairy, which can then be Natasha or Manju. Now, the reason Natasha is pretty much an MVP is, again, you ritual summon this card with Machine Angel Ritual, or, of course, with the Matron Ritual spell, which I'll show you towards the end. Once per turn, target one face-up monster you control, gain life points equal to half its attack. Nice. When a ritual monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack. If this card is in the graveyard, you can banish one other Cyber Ritual monster in your graveyard, then target one monster your opponent controls, special summon this card, and if you do, take control of that monster. So, that's right, in one card, it is a negate attack, is pretty much a Dato the Cure Master, and is a technical mind control with Monster Reborn all in one. Like, this card is nuts, and I absolutely love it. Chris has been a massive fan of this card ever since it came out. I love the card. It was just always an awkward level being 5, but in a deck like this, it's so easy to bring out. It's unreal. For our other generic rituals, we do have the one Saravis the Ancient, and one Amorphactor Pain. Now, these two are, again, both incredibly powerful. So not only can this be used in its in-hand effect by discarding to protect any of your cards from being targeted, but you actually have a very, very easy way of ritual summoning this as well. It is a light, and that is very important later on when I show you throughout the profile. But you do, when your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, quick effect, you return this card to the hand and negate the special summon, and if you do, banish that monster or monsters. Nice. This guy is disgusting. So, again, he was really, really good, but it was always awkward to bring out in his own deck. Now, he's so easy. So, your opponent, if this card is ritual summoned, your opponent skips their next main phase 1. Negate the effects of face-up, fusion, synchro, and XYZ monsters while they are on the field. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Draco Overlord monster from your deck to your hand. Not going to do that, but he can be ritual summoned from grave as well with the new ritual spell. He can be easily made by getting rid of 2 Drytrons, which are both level 1s. And he skips your opponent's main phase 1. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could put the Magician of Black Chaos in here, but you would need a way to summon it during your opponent's turn. Whereas this just goes, cool, skip your next main phase 1, please. And your opponent's like, what? It's like, yeah, skip your next main phase 1. Oh, by the way, if you want a fusion, synchro, or XYZ, I'm going to negate their effects. Like, this card is nuts, and I'm so happy we can actually play it in a deck now. Moving on to the Drytron effect monsters, we've got triple Drytron Zeta. This, again, they all share the same first effect. They can't be normal summoned or set, and they must be special summoned with the effect of a Drytron card. You can treat one other Drytron monster or ritual monster from your hand or field, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Then you can add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. You cannot special summon monsters except monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set the turn you activate this effect. Absolutely fine. You're not going to special summon anything from the hand or main deck that it can be normal summoned or set. The only thing you're going to be doing is special summoning from the extra deck. We've then got triple Drytron Alpha Furban. This card is the opposite of Zeta. Again, same effect, can't be normal summoned or set. Can be special summoned by tributing one other Drytron or ritual monster. And then, when this is special summoned, you get to add one ritual monster from your deck to your hand. So, Zeta gets you the spell, Alpha gets you the monster. And then we've got double Gamma. Gamma, when it is, again, exact same summoning requirements as the other two, but when it is summoned, you get to special summon one Drytron monster with 2,000 attack from your graveyard except himself. Now, again, absolutely fine. The only reason we play Gamma at 2 rather than 3, just because it needs that additional setup. Now, you can max it out at 3 if you want to, because you will consistently put these in the graveyard, but keeping them at 2 is more than enough. Then we move on to our final monster of the main deck, and that is, of course, double Manju. Now, this will be taken out for the Herald of Divine, basically, when we get it. But for now, the idea is that with Ben 10, at some point, you can search this out. And because you're not special summon it, you normal summon it, it will then be able to search you out any ritual monster or any ritual spell. Now, we're only playing 2 ritual spells. You're probably going to search them off of your Alpha or your Zeta, moving into it. Whereas Manju can then ultimately get you that missing piece. So, if you're not going to search out Manju off of Ben 10 can also search you out your Natasha. But if you do search out your Manju, because you're going to have your normal summon free to use anyway, you normal summon your Manju can then get you your Draco Master, or it can also get you your Saravas, or it can even get you your Boss Drytrons if you want it to as well. So that's it for the monster lineup. Moving on to the spells. We play triple Drytron Nova. This card is basically the special summon of Drytrons. Now, it is a Drytron card, so it does trigger the effect to special summon from... it does trigger the Drytron's effect. You're absolutely fine summoning this. Now, the focus wants to play up, so bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. So you special summon one Drytron monster from your deck, but destroy it during the end phase. You can only activate one Nova per turn. You cannot special summon monsters except monsters that cannot be normal summoned to set the turn you activate this card. Again, absolutely fine, because all cards from the extra deck technically can't be normal summoned or set, so you're absolutely fine. We then play double Drytron Farnir. This is the field spell, so we do play the 1 terraforming as well. You can max out on 3 Farnir if you want, but I've gone with 2 and 1. So when this card is activated, you add one Drytron spell or trap from your deck to your hand, except itself. The activation and the activated effects of ritual spell cards cannot be negated. Once per turn, if a monster is normal or special summoned, face up while you control a Drytron monster, except during the damage step, you can reduce that monster's level by 1 per 1,000 of its current attack, minimum to 1 level for the rest of this turn. So again, it just helps you kind of make or give the additional effects to your Drytron ritual monsters, but ideally it's just there to get you that Drytron spell. And again, we're only going to have that one spell or trap unless you're going to go to search out your Nova, which is why we only play it 2. Then for the one ritual spell of the Drytrons, this card is busted beyond belief. And you might be like, well, if it's that busted, why are you only playing one of it? Well, because it's that busted, it recycles itself. Like, what more could you want? This card can be used to ritual summon any ritual monster from your hand or graveyard. What? You must also tribute machine monsters from your hand or field whose total attack equal or exceed the attack of the ritual monster you ritual summoned. Easy. You've given me 3 level 1 machine monsters that are going to be 2,000 attack each. So you're telling me I can either get rid of one of them to bring out my Ben 10 or my Natasha, or I can get rid of 2 of them to bring out my Draco Master. Hell yeah. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Drytron monster you control. It loses exactly 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. And if it does, add this card from your to your hand. You can only use this effect of the Drytron once per turn. So it can only recycle itself once, like Invocation, but it can be used to ritual summon twice. This card is nuts. Now this is an Ultra and so is Drytron Nova. Farnet is a Super and all the level 1 Drytrons thankfully are rares. Moving on to the generic spells now, we've got triple Cyber Emergency. Add 1 light machine monster that cannot be normal summoned or set. So all my Drytron cards. Thank you very much. Triple Preparations of Rites, which basically reads, add Ben 10, Natasha or Soravas from your deck to your hand, and if you so happen to have either your Drytron ritual spell or your other ritual spell in the graveyard, add that to hand too, because why not? And then, as an alternative to their Where Art Thou, we play double Jack in the hand. It's just an option instead of Where Art Thou. So Where Art Thou is a little bit more consistent in the sense that it doesn't give your opponent something, whereas this is actually a little bit better because you don't burn for that 2k. So it really depends on how you kind of like play it. The good thing with Jack in the Hand is Jack in the Hand gives you the option, like it gives your opponent a card, but then if you're going to skip their main phase 1 anyway, it's fine. As long as you get the other piece that you need, which is either going to be your Gamma or your Alpha or your Zeta. Alternatively, again, this also doesn't need a Drytron already on the field to get the effect off, whereas there can only be one does. So it really does depend on you, whether you like the there can only be one or Jack in the Hand. There's both pros and cons to both sides of it. This particular build doesn't care about the extra decks. We do play triple Extrav. This is just an option. If you want to be playing through the extra deck a little bit more and a bit more consistently, then you can take this out completely. That is entirely up to you. I have no need for the extra deck in a sense. I will show you various options for the extra deck when we get to it, but ultimately you can just use Extravagance if you have it for consistency plays. Then for the last one, we've got the 1 Foolish Burial and the 1 Ancient Machine Angel Ritual. So this is a tech that I've put in that not a lot of people actually see. Now, the reason this is put in here is, yes, it does only let you ritual summon any Cyber Angel, which is fine because you want to bring out your Natasha, because your Natasha, backed up with your Draco Master or any of your other Drytron cards or anything like that, is going to be able to protect them. But on top of that, what a lot of people miss to this card is if a light monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you banish this card instead. This protects your Soravas, this protects your big Drytrons, it protects your little Drytrons, and it protects Ben 10 and Natasha as well. So this is incredibly important that a lot of people actually overlook of how important this card actually is. And because we're using 2 ritual spells, it does give you the ability to get Natasha and to get another ritual monster onto the field. And again, as we go through the extra deck, I'll show you a nice card that is very, very powerful in this deck, that you use it for the tokens for the first time ever. And then the Foolish Burial, because you're able to ritual summon using the Drytron ritual spell from grave, this technically counts as any ritual monster. So, beautiful. And then finally Triple Imperm, because we want to try and stop our opponent, and this is one of the strongest ways of doing so. So that's it for the main deck. I'll show you the combo after we've gone through the extra deck. Now, the extra deck cards I'm about to show you, there's only going to be 10 cards. However, the way this kind of works is, if you're playing Extrav, you multiply some of these cards and you reduce some of them. If you're not playing Extrav, and you're probably going to be playing a Synchro version, or you're probably going to be playing the version with Halifrabrax, which, because of the Banis Lumin, I've decided to specifically go against and not build towards. So we'll start off with the lower levels. You've got your Anima and you've got your Link Karibo. Now, obviously, a lot of your Drytron monsters are level 1, so this is incredibly important. Very, very easy to get out, very consistent, and in the Extrav build, you'll probably be bumping these up to 2s each, if not 3s on the Link Karibo. You've then got your Union Carrier. Now, the reason Union Carrier is so important is because it does actually equip from your deck to the field any of your machine monsters. So that gets you any of your Drytron monsters, any of your big ritual monsters, puts them in the graveyard, and you're good to go. For your other lower levels, your Link 2s, you've got your IP Masquerena, which of course is going to lead into the Nightmare package of Phoenix, Cerberus, and Unicorn. Again, this is just disruption plays. If you want to, you can put anything that can come off the back of IP Masquerena. You could bump up IP Masquerena, depends on the Extrav or the version you're going to play. Then for your boss monsters, we do have the one Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, and the one Access Code. Now, you should very rarely actually have to go into this, but this is just one of them plays that you make if you've got your big monsters on the board and your opponent's like, right, cool, I can deal with that monster, and you bring out a BLS that maybe if you bring BLS out with IP, your opponent just can't get rid of. So again, it's just an option. You don't have to play it, but it is an option. The best Link 3 for this deck is, of course, Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. And the other Link 2s you can make are any generic Link 2 machine monsters that can help you climb into Auroradon. Now, the reason this is so important is not only does it produce you a wind attribute for the graveyard for your Access Code Talker, but because it does produce 3 wind monsters at level 3s, their attacks are 0. So you're not going to be able to get the ritual fodder for the Drytrons that way, but you can use them as Machine Angel ritual fodder, but they are also machine tokens as well. So you do have the ability to tribute Auroradon, or you can use Auroradon's effect to pop the tokens to pop cards as well. Now, if you do go towards the Halley Firebrax version, that's when you're going to put in your tuners. That's where people play Gamma. That's where they go for the Synchro level 8 plays and stuff like that. Me, personally, I'm staying away from that because if the banish drops and anything like that gets hit, the whole profile becomes null and void. Whereas with this build right here, there's a 99% chance that you're going to be absolutely safe to build this the second the Drytrons drop and play them as you see fit. Now, with the profile out of the way, let's get into the 2-card combo. Now, the 2-card combo is specific, but it's specific in the way that you've got a lot of ways to get into them. So you've got your Zeta and your Alpha. These are the 2 main cards that you want to be getting to your hand. Now, keep in mind, in order to get to these, not only do you have Jack in the hand or Where Art Thou as an option, but you do also have your Cyber Emergency as well, and you also have Drytron Nova to get the other one to the board. Now, the whole idea behind this is that you're able to pretty much send one of them to the grave to get the other one. Now, the one you want to summon is Alpha, because Alpha is going to get you that ritual monster. Now, from this part, what you're going to do is, obviously, you're going to use Alpha's effect. You're going to tribute off the Zeta, put Zeta in the graveyard, and summon out the Alpha. Now, because Alpha's been summoned, that is going to allow you to search out a ritual monster, which is, of course, going to be Ben 10. From this point here, what you're going to do here is you'll use Ben 10's effect. That will, not Ben 10's effect, sorry, Zeta's effect to tribute Ben 10 in the hand to summon out Zeta. Zeta's effect will then trigger and also trigger, just move these out of the way, it will also trigger Ben 10's effect because she has been tributed. So what you're going to be able to do here is you're going to be able to get yourself a ritual spell, which of course is going to be, where are you? Your 1 Drytron ritual spell, there you go. Your Metinist Drytron. And then you're going to use Ben 10's effect. Now, Ben 10's effect can either get you Natasha, or you can get Manju just to put another monster on the board. So I'm going to take the Manju, because then from this point on, you get any ritual monster you want. If you go directly for Natasha, you've got anything. But with Manju, you normal summon this, you've got the ability to go straight for your Draco Master. I'm calling it Draco Master. I know it's not, but your Draco Overlord. You can go straight for him. Or you can go into Natasha. You can go into your Drytron Dragonoids, anything like that. You can get whatever you want. Now, from this point here, all you need to do is you activate the Drytron. This will then make you tribute the machine monsters, so you get rid of both of those, and that's going to bring him down. Now, he's going to straight away completely turn off your opponent's board, and it's going to be able to skip your opponent's main phase 1. So they're not going to be able to destroy these unless they're destroying them in main phase 2 with a card effect. Now, obviously, with the Drytron here, you do need to target a Drytron monster to bring it back to the hand. So that's something you would be doing during your next turn if you want to. But this is just a basic example of what you can kind of get. Now, obviously, if you went to Natasha, Natasha can then get you an additional effect from here. If your other hand already contains a Natasha, you can use Manju to search you out your Machine Angel Ritual. That can then, of course, get you a Natasha or back this board up with another Natasha. Now, keep in mind, you've got 3 more cards in hand. The idea of this entire combo is that from 2 consistent cards that you can search throughout its own archetype through additional card archetypes and other cards in the form of Ben 10, you're going to be able to use both those cards without using your normal summon to technically get you any ritual monster on the board in the entire game. There is not one ritual monster, unless its attack is above 4,000, that you cannot get from your deck to the field using that combo. Simple as that. Now, as I said at the start, if you do smash the like button and hit the notification bell and get this video to above 50 likes, I will be able to bring you a Drytron test time video, but more importantly, you'll be able to unlock the next part of our Genesis Impact profiles, and that, of course, is going to be the Spellcaster deck of Magisters. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. I hope it's given you a couple of tech ideas for your own deck version. And I hope on the basis is just explain to you what the Drytrons do, why they are so important, why they are so powerful, and why I highly advise you guys picking up what you can from the Drytrons from this set before they rocket in price, because they are good. They help you out with any ritual deck around. It would be mad not to. For now, as absolutely always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, stay safe and happy dueling.